I think that for a lot of people who are trying to accomplish really any sort of goal, but specifically are trying to make something big in their life happen. And generally, this is some sort of life purpose, right? It's some sort of item that they're passionate about, or some pathway in life they want to take. They need a moment where they can fully state that they are all in, at least mentally, that this is definitively the thing that I am going to commit my life to doing. And I see a lot of people that play this sort of half game. They play this game where they go after it, they put a lot of effort, and they put even their free time into it, but they're not fully in. They're not completely committed. They're like 90ish% of the way there, and there's like a 10% that seems to just hold them back. And I was in a position in my life where I was kind of in that same spot. And the thing that I recognized that pulled me out of it was realizing that this is the thing that makes me happy. It was not so much a realization, but a moment. It was this absolute feeling that, yes, I am going to do this because when I do this, I feel like myself. When I am not doing this, I do not feel that way. It's hard to explain. It is so hard to explain. I don't want to take up all this time trying to explain the feeling. But I'll simply offer my experience of this feeling, and then hopefully, perhaps if you felt this way before, it might help to kind of illuminate that maybe you are on the right path, or if you haven't, to keep an eye out for it, to kind of seek out this feeling. But for me, the moment came when I was going for my MFA. I had already committed to doing it. I had changed my literally I gave up a career of mine to basically work at a university for very little money in exchange for taking free college classes, and the classes were my MFA. And it was a low residency program where basically you meet for a week in person, then you have a 6 month distance aspect where you just work kind of one to one with an author over the course of emails, and you correspond that way. But during my second semester, I took my week vacation from work to go do the residency, and I did it in person. And I remember the feeling of going there and feeling like I belonged, like feeling this immense sense of creativity, of this awesomeness that you can only really experience when you're actually doing it, when you're surrounded by other writers. If you're a writer, and if you're an author and you love that stuff, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This feeling you cannot replace when you are around other people that are working on their projects. And life seemed to be very, very clear for me. Everything that I was focused and struggling with seemed very, very clear. And I remember the feeling of leaving that Sunday to go to work the next Monday morning and feeling the sense of dread. This, oh my God, I cannot believe I have to go back to work. I was doing so much work on my passion project here. I was so invested. I felt so driven, and now I'm miserable. And there was this blues that would carry over, and it carried over for like several days, and it would happen every time after that. And at that point, I knew, all right, this is the path. This is obviously the path you got to go down. If everything else is making you miserable, this has got to be what you need to do. And so, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm not gonna go too much longer, but I want to encourage you that to try and seek out that moment. Try and find this moment that can kind of bring forth that same feeling, because if you can, you will know that your life is in the right direction. You are going down the pathway that you have chosen the right thing to pursue.